Hello, and welcome to Tish and Mary Talk Manners. We'll be spending some time with two remarkable women. Letitia Baldridge was named America's leading arbiter of manners in a Time magazine cover story. She served as social secretary to the White House during the Kennedy administration and is the author of 23 books on etiquette, manners, and design. Her book, Letitia Baldridge's New Complete Guide to Executive Manners, remains the gold standard for corporate etiquette. She has an impressive career, both in government service and as the president and CEO of her own marketing firm, located in both New York and Chicago. Today she comes to us from our nation's capital. Her counterpart, Mary Mitchell, is the founder and president of the Mitchell Organization, based in Seattle, Washington. She is a corporate consultant and coach, newspaper columnist, and the author of 7 books on manners, including the best-selling book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Etiquette. So give us the next few minutes of your time, and we'll give you advice that has steered presidents and CEOs alike.
Hello, this is Letitia Baldridge.
And this is Mary Mitchell. Thank you for letting us share what we think about living life with good manners.
Today's subject, the cocktail party, is a momentous one. It's so enormous we have to divide it into 3 parts.
Part 1, the guest list.
Then, food and drinks.
And finally, the meetings and greetings, which also might be entitled, The Most Inane Conversation in Your Life.
Today, let's talk about why you have such a party in the first place and whom you invite.
By the time you're 28, you're supposed to be a grown-up. So the cocktail party you host at this point in your life is no longer a noisy, drunken brawl like the good old days at school when you were on your first job. Today, when you entertain, it's often a gathering for a purpose, such as introducing a person important to your business to a new coterie of acquaintances, some of whom might contribute to his or her success.
Thereby contributing to your own success, and how.
Let's look at some other reasons for hosting the cocktail party. You might wish to celebrate a special personal occasion,
Such as the anniversary of the first time your child got your joke, or to celebrate your city's team winning the World Series.
or your dog's birthday.
I think we're getting off subject.
Those are, after all, excellent reasons for throwing a party. But there are also equally important reasons for making the effort to attend. Most people today don't follow any etiquette rules vis-a-vis the cocktail party, even when they're invited by Evite. Requests for RSVPs are blithely ignored, or people call to accept, and then there are no-shows.
What I really love are the people who won't give you a simple yes or no when you ask if they're coming. Several times I've received smart alecky responses, such as, I don't know what I'll be doing that night. Do you?
Oh, I would love the chance to say to a man like that, oh, on that evening, I'll be sure to arrange it so that you and I aren't at the same party.
If we were to make a list, Mary, of what we would hope to accomplish, if anything, by attending a big cocktail party, what would you include on it?
Well, first, I wouldn't have to worry about dinner. I would have extensively sampled all those hors d'oeuvres and crudités, and I wouldn't be faced with cleanup or washing dishes either.
Check. I'd also have on my list a couple of names of interesting people I had met that night, including their telephone numbers or email addresses, their company's name, and their positions.
And you would elicit that information gingerly, subtly, inconspicuously, right?
Yes, and I'd write it down or enter it in my computer so that I could access it immediately.
You mean when you were single, you'd access it to invite this man to accompany you to an important gathering?
Absolutely. Why did you bother to save all that information on him in the first place?
Well, would the biographical information on this dream prince of yours have included, perhaps, the fact that he was, hopefully, single?
Bet your life it would have.
I remember one time when you raved on and on about an executive, and I tried to fix him up with one of my colleagues. Do you remember that?
Yes, even though it was several years ago, I vividly recall trying to arrange a Sunday lunch party involving an NFL game and suggesting this man as your friend's date.
It was not one of your best moments, Letitia, because I did indeed invite him, and then he showed me in his office the photographs of his lovely wife and 3 children. He was definitely not a single eligible man.
Let's be efficient for a second, and let's return to the subject of the ubiquitous cocktail party. It all starts with the invitation, because without a clearly stated invitation, including the necessary logistics, there would not be any party.
I'll dive in if you agree, Tish. A cocktail party invitation should include the name of the hosts, the date, address of the party place, the party hours, and the reason for the party if there is one. Even the guest of honor's name, if there is a guest of honor, should be on the invitation. And don't put as the party hour at 6:30 p.m. because people might think that dinner is included, and more importantly, they won't know when to go home. In other words, never leave the party hours open-ended. If you say 6 to 8 p.m., they'll know that 8's the end of the party, and that by 8:30, the host will have closed the open bar. A dreary moment indeed. Yet the smart guest will have already bade their host farewell by that time. Include information on the invitation about where to park or if valet parking will be in effect. If the party place is unknown to most of the guests, include a small map. If you're hosting a really large reception, be sure to call the local police district and follow their instructions about posting signs or hiring off-duty cops to control the traffic and parking flow.
If you ask for RSVPs on your cocktail party invitations, be assured of one thing, that most people will ignore that request.
And be assured that many people will bring along uninvited guests to your party, an irritating rudeness that makes the blood of most hosts rise to a higher level than boiling.
That means you never know how many to expect or pay for. It's really a tough situation. And how about when they bring along their kids just because it's hard to find a sitter that evening?
Gee, that's the perfect way to ruin a party, isn't it? Children ruin a big party just because they're so ill at ease in those situations, and it's so hard on them. It's also bad parenting.
I know party hosts who set up juice bars and ice cream and popcorn wagons just for the uninvited kids that have been dragged along by their parents.
I can't imagine a better way to keep children away from alcoholic beverages.
Either that or it's going to turn them into enthusiastic guests at their parents' cocktail parties.
Too many calories in those treats for kids. How about having a fresh vegetable bar with different kinds of dips?
That sounds like perfect party food for kids on their way to an ice cream shop.
And that's today's Tish and Mary Talk Manners.